like to speak during the communication from council member, or excuse me, communication from citizens, if you will come in and sign in here at the podium, that'll help us keep our records straight. We'll have name, address written down. What I will do once we get to communication from citizens, we will basically go down that list, and if anyone comes in late or didn't get a chance to sign in, you'll have opportunity to speak as well. So we're constantly adjusting. We're gonna find the right mix. And so anyway, just want to make you all aware of that. I believe we're all here. So we will, if we're ready, we will go ahead and get started. Thank you again for being here this evening. Mr. Manning, it's that time. We'd like to call upon you to lead us in our invocation in place of the flag, if everyone would please stand.
That's correct. Our Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight, Lord. We thank you for the honor to be able to come and help our city. Father, we ask you tonight, Lord, touch each one here, touch your Lord, where they lost loved ones. And God, we ask you to strengthen them, Father. Help us to do what you have us to do and go where you have us to go. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Manning. Jen, if we could have the roll call, please.
Mayor Lambert.
Here.
Vice Mayor Griffin.
Here.
Councilmember Cagle.
Here.
Councilmember Manning.
Here.
Councilmember Sewell.
Here.
City Manager Hyde.
Here.
City Attorney.
Chief Reed. I understand we have some special business to take care of tonight.
Yes, sir. Mayor, Council, I would like to introduce citizens. I would like to introduce the new Assistant Chief for the City of East Ridge. He is a retired 28-year veteran of the Chattanooga Police Department. Man experience in recruiting, administration, special operations, and was the training director over the academy for the Chattanooga Police Department. He comes to us with a wealth of experience. He's also a resident of the City of East Ridge. His name is Stanley. Mayor, if we could, we would like to get you to swear in Assistant Chief Allen under the oath of honor and trust.
I'll be honored. Thank you. Assistant Chief Allen, you will raise your right hand and repeat after me, please. On my honor,
On my honor,
I, Stanley L. Allen,
I, Stanley L. Allen,
will never betray my badge,
will never betray my badge,
my integrity,
my integrity,
my character,
my character,
or the public trust.
or the public.
I will always have the courage
I will always have the courage
to hold myself and others
to hold myself and others
accountable for our actions.
accountable for our actions.
I will always uphold the Constitution
I will always uphold the Constitution
and the community I serve.
and the community I serve.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's always a great privilege for me to be able to do that. Welcome again.
Thank you.
All right, at this time, we will consider the consent agenda. I trust everyone has had an opportunity to review the items there. The minutes from April 9th agenda work session, the minutes from April 9th regular council meeting, as well as the March 2015 financial statement. We have a motion to approve and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Evans?
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle?
Yes.
Councilmember Manning?
Yes.
Councilmember Sewell?
Yes.
Mayor Lambert?
Yes. All right, at this time, we will entertain communication from citizens. And it's going to feel like old times. We have no one to assign in, so we will just ask if anyone has something, a question, concern, comment you'd like to bring to the council. If you'll please come forward, state your name and address for the record. You will have 5 minutes.
Francis Pope, 1913 Close Road. You gentlemen haven't seen me in a while. Not because I don't care, because I haven't been feeling well. I look healthy. Got some flesh on my bones, but think I've been sick. Kind of like our city. On the surface, we look healthy. Gentlemen, we have some problems. One of those, I think, is signing in to speak before council. We have a charter change that all citizens are given 5 minutes. I would like for council to reconsider that. We have an attorney who guides us, is supposed to guide us legally. If there's a question on that, we pay him. He is the expert. Ask him about these questions so that we don't have those internal problems. We've got some other internal problems that need to be addressed. We've got ordinances that stir up trouble every 2 years since it was brought forth. The political sign ordinance. I urge you, gentlemen, address this now when it's not an election year. Bass Pro may come to exit 1, but if that sign ordinance isn't fixed, and fixed properly and enforced, you may not be able to see the sign for Bass Pro at exit 1 because it's the presidential election. And it seems like every year they get worse and worse and worse. We have strife within our city. That needs to stop. I've been to doctor after doctor after doctor. If a doctor says, you got a problem with your foot, he doesn't say cut it off. He says, let's fix it, let's work with it, let's make it better so that your whole body. I ask you, gentlemen, when a problem comes up, the solution isn't get rid of somebody. Work with them, work together, and make our body as a city function properly, inside and out. Every part of our body is just like every department of this city. You have your responsibilities. The city manager has his. The city treasurer has his. Sanitation supervisor has his. The chiefs have theirs. Let them take care of those departments. And if there is a problem, come together, address it, fix it. Don't cut it out and throw it away, because then you've got a body part missing. Everything else isn't going to work properly. We've had some issues about personnel changes that have been brought up at this council. Gentlemen, that is not your responsibility. Now, if personnel changes are made outside of policy, that is your responsibility. I would urge you, we have on record a personnel committee. It's useless. The employees can only use it if they've been terminated, and the city manager still has the final say. I ask you to get with the attorney, see how that committee can be useful for the city, for administration, and for the employees. An avenue that an employee doesn't have to go to council. He's got a personnel committee made up of citizens that if they have a grievance, they can go to them. That personnel committee should be charged to go by policy, not personality. And I think a lot of those problems could be solved. There is, we're coming up on a budget. Insurance. State allows for elected officials to have insurance, but it also allows you gentlemen to set the amount that those elected officials pay. I would urge you to take a look at that again before election. It's a part-time job. Our part-time employees don't have insurance. If an elected official is going to be here 4 years, I have no problem. State says he can have insurance. Let him pay the full premium. That is still a benefit, gentlemen. But these are things that need to be addressed consistently, systematically, to bring the whole body of this city into working order so that we don't get sick, that we look okay on the outside, but inside there's problems. We go way back to a record ordinance that still needs to be addressed. So my urge to you gentlemen is let's not say, well, things are looking good, economic development's coming along, let's fix those internal problems. Let's fix them properly, and let's address them, and don't throw the baby out with the bathwater because something doesn't go our way. Let's work together and make everything work so our city functions as a properly working body. And I appreciate the time to speak. Thank you, John.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else? We will move on to communication from council members. Mr. Mayor.
Nothing this time, sir.
Mr. Sewell.
The only thing that I have complained about WFTA with business, and I want to talk to Mr. Siegel after.
Okay. Mr. Cagle.
I'd just like to thank the chiefs for letting the men go up to South Carolina this weekend to Tim Spire's funeral. The family of her is very appreciative.
I just want to add on top of that, thank you, Councilman Cagle, Councilman Manning, y'all both went as well. And I know that means a lot to you, for us to have representation from there for someone who lost a loved one like Tim did.
Absolutely. And that's the family who we need to keep in our prayers, and there are other employees as well who are dealing with various struggles, and we just urge you to remember them as well. And I don't know if you're going to mention anything further about that. If so, then we'll let you at the appropriate time. But again, a lot of folks that we need to remember. Do you have anything else, Mr. Cagle?
No, sir.
Mr. Craig?
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to welcome Assistant Chief Allen. We have not met, we've never spoken, but I look forward to working with you and hoping that you can have a positive impact on our city and welcome you. And I'm glad you live here. It's good to have when someone that lives inside the city gets hired on there, because you have a special interest in your own home city. Also, with the recent flooding that we've had, the street department, police department, blocking off streets and so forth, they did a good job. And I'd just like to elaborate on a couple of things that Ms. Pope brought up, if y'all don't mind. One of the things is that I agree with her. It is not our job to micromanage. That is not our responsibility. It is our responsibility to provide some checks and balances and to oversee. But it's not in our purview, in my opinion, to micromanage. And along the lines of something else that she mentioned, rumors and innuendos and all this kind of stuff that go on in this city, they really need to stop. And because this stuff affects people and it affects their families. And, unless there's proof of something, and it's quit. And that's all I'm gonna say.
All right. Thank you, sir. Just want to thank the park staff for all the work they did to make Bugapalooza a success in spite of the torrential downpours. Yeah. You all do a great job, so thank you.
They do a great job. They really do.
Definitely welcome again to Assistant Chief Allen. We're grateful to have you here. And got a couple of other things. I don't want to take up a whole lot of time here. We have some. I've got 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, who's got the time?
Yeah, exactly. One of the things I would like to see, and I'm not sure anything has really been done with it lately. I know we had at one time offered a tuition reimbursement program for any city employees who wanted to go back to school, and of course there's pretty stringent guidelines there. I would like to see that become, I guess, more talked about. Something that we really put out there to our employees as a potential benefit. And so that I think is important. I also wanted to ask a question. Well, one point in the past, we had, it seems like it's been 4 or 5 years ago now, we had allowed employees to donate some of their accumulated leave time to another employee who was facing an extended illness. And I just wanted to put that out there as, if at all possible, I would like for that opportunity to still be out there, to still exist, if the need arises. And I just think it would be a great thing for any employee who would need that donated time, but also a great opportunity for the citizens of East Ridge, but the staff of East Ridge to come together and support one of our own. And
If I may,
Yes.
it's alive and well, and I'll interject real quick. We do have, Susan McCrellis is not doing well. We've had some staff, and I'm gonna mention his name, Captain Mullinax, reached out to Trish this week and offered on behalf of the police department and him and the police department to donate some time to her. I concur and approve for that to happen, and even told Trish to take a week of my time. So I for no reason, but since you we would not have discussed it had you not brought it up. It would have been something we just did. But yes, that is alive and well, and I think that's something that goes unnoticed. Those are the things that happen that really, unless you're doing it, you don't know what's happening. And we don't pat ourselves on the back. We think that's the right thing to do for people in need to do that. And so we're reaching out to Susan, anything she needs during her time of need, and any other employee. We do the same thing. And it just, we watch it. Trish monitors that, and when it gets to that point where they might need it, then we just start funneling some time to it. And we do it on a fairly anonymous basis. The person that gets it has no idea who gave it. So I think that's a good problem, but we concur.
well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I know many others do too. So that's all I have. Turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate that. Couple things. I had a real good visit today with, why they asked me, I guess because all of y'all turned it down apparently, was to speak to the government class. And I know a couple of you looked at me and said, yeah, I turned it down. But no, I had a real good visit with some seniors at the high school today. One of the teachers is the high school baseball coach. He's got a passion about that baseball program. Chief Williams' son plays. I told him in spite of Mike being involved with it, that I would try to help as much as we could. He took me out to the baseball field. We looked at it. I told him to just send me a wish list, not necessarily anything that we could fulfill, but just let me see what he's thinking. That maybe there's some things we can do. I mean, one of the things that he mentioned was sand and clay and mowing the field, and nothing earth shattering, nothing that's gonna cost us a lot of money. So I'm gonna look at that and just, you know, I either can bring it back before you or just at my discretion, just, you know, as long as it's not a huge expense, just go down there and, you know, help the guys out. We've painted goalposts this last year for the football team because they looked really, really awful. We restrung the flagpole just because it was, you know, obviously as an American, that was the right thing to do to make sure they could put a flag up and some of those things. So we want to help the school. We want to partner. And Larry and I have talked a lot about that over the last year and a half with his involvement and alumni up here at the high school. And you two, I would imagine if they had school back then, Larry, I'm not sure. But yeah, we want to help as much as we can and be a part. We don't want to step on any toes. We don't want to do anything that we shouldn't do. But we'll monitor that, and as soon as he gets on the list. Also, it's a field that we use. We use the baseball field, we use the football field, so it's almost like paying it forward and paying back for somebody that helps us a little bit with our programs and with our the kids in our city. So just to bring that before you. Also, I got today.
We going for what? When did we have used the field?
We used it during football season this last year, and I'm not sure if we used it for baseball last year, but I know we want to use the baseball field this coming season.
If they decide to do something, then my recommendation will be, if we decide to fix it, they will allow us to use it.
We use the football fields on Saturdays for as far as I know, the whole season.
Yes,
Because that's
they do.
the only football field.
And OLPH, we use both football fields.
I know one time, if Mary may remember this, one time it got to the point when we started helping them, and you'll remember too, right? That's when the county just quit, wouldn't do nothing. And then they all on these streets, so we finally ended up doing it, cut the field and do everything else. And I think we're going to go to the county and tell them they need to do a good job to put it all on these streets. And I believe helping our school.
Sure.
If county gonna do it, then we, step in, but I think we're gonna let the county do it first.
One of the things I think we should do, I don't mean to interrupt you, Mr. Hyde, but if we could get the codes, or the fire chief to go over there and take photographs of the stadium and the steps, that is a huge liability for the county. I know it's not our property, but take photographs of it and send a letter to the county school board showing them the deterioration of the stadium, maybe they might do something. I don't know.
Mr. Grady, when Mr. Board was here about 3 weeks ago, I brought that up to him, and he said he's gonna go back and talk to him about it, but also he said it wasn't his responsibility. It was somebody else on the board's responsibility. And I said, well, right now, this way I said it, and I've been up down the steps you have too, all of probably right in your ass. And I agree with you 100% because that, if you ain't careful, you'll be going down the hill before you think that concrete just about coming on. And he agreed with me that it needed to be tore down and redone. The board did, but he said he wasn't responsible for that. It's one of those. I think we get our city manager to go talk to him, and the mayor, get them to get back on it.
I think it's, I do think it's a good thing to, probably to reach out to Superintendent Smith and Mr. Testament, our representative on the school board, and probably would be a bad idea to have Commissioner Boyd there as well, to just talk about some of our concerns and as a city and see what they're willing to do. And I don't have a problem helping. I don't think we should have to carry the burden.
I agree.
The athletic fields, the coaches are responsible for basically doing themselves. The rest of the drills are bid out. The ball fields, they don't want to start with, they mess them up most of the time. But it's the coach's responsibility, and they work year round trying to, and this guy's his first year coaching. They're in pretty bad shape. I think the city, didn't we go down there some last year or something? We wanted going to Utah, like going down there and helping the other coach.
I know in the past, when Wayne was with us, he took care of the softball field over there on a regular basis. Now, we've never, that I know of, you know, we mowed the football field, the practice field, did pre-emergent and all that stuff up there and put their fertilizer down on the football field. The baseball field was in such bad shape last year and it was so low with no dirt in it and all that, that was before this new guy took over. But no, it was, it's not in a good situation, but it's much better now than what it was.
You know, I don't know how we got off on this education tangent around here, but you know, we mentioned it, we kicked the idea around, and you know, we're going through some growing pains right now, especially, you know, with the Bass Pro and the redevelopment and all that's going on with the city. After the dust settles a little bit here in the next year or two, I would like to readdress the issue of us at least investigating the possibility of taking over our own schools. You know, there are 6 municipalities. I serve with representatives from West Tennessee, Memphis, Shelby County area that their cities did it. When the Shelby County and the city of Memphis school districts combined, 6 municipalities separated themselves to form their own. And here in the next year or two, I would like to at least keep that on the radar. You know, I'm not saying do it. I'm saying explore the possibilities and see what all it would entail.
At least have enough information to make an educated decision one way or another.
Yeah. You know, the education is key to a community. Absolutely. And 25 years ago, whenever I was looking around to buy a house, I actually was able to buy one over in East Brainerd cheaper than I could afford one, a comparable size house here in East Ridge. I couldn't afford one 25 years ago here. But after the merging of the school systems, I really feel like that is something that has contributed heavily with the position that our city is in now, is with the combining of the 2 school systems. So, you know, the way your schools go is the way your community goes.
If I can, actually, I want to backtrack for just a minute. Because mentioning the redevelopment has led me to a letter I received from Life Care Centers of America. I just wanted to share it with you. This is to advise you that on or before May 30th, 2015, and within 30 days thereafter, Life Care Center of East Ridge will permanently reduce the number of employees at its long-term care and skilled nursing facility. Won't go on any further than that. Basically, they're putting up the fence right now to start working on that property, and their employees are going to be gone May 30th. So that project is moving forward very quickly. Just wanted to share that with you all, and I understand I love the little Teriyaki of Japan restaurant up here. I understand tomorrow will be its last day open where it is, and they're going to move further up Ringgold Road, but that project is the grocery store and fuel station is moving along pretty rapidly as well. Lots of good things going.
Thank you. I'm going to take you back to education real quick, sorry. Seems to be the theme tonight. I apologize for getting us to that, but this is an invitation from Ms. Rachel Bryant for the East Ridge High School Heritage Day celebration tomorrow. She does apologize for just getting it to me today. Actually, I got the email at 3:44 today. But she's inviting each one of us to the school tomorrow for their Honoring Our Heritage Day. Heritage Day celebration tomorrow. It begins at 9:35. There's a documentary that'll be shown, and then from 11 to 1 the displays. And so if you want to go, you are invited to go. The other thing that I have is this week, we on the 13th of April, actually it's last week, I got it on the 15th, so about a week ago, but you should have got a copy in an email. It's addressed to y'all as well, so I hope you did get one, but anyhow, if you didn't, We sent an email, I think we all communicated on the email about Ridgeside. They have requested to, looking to enforce it, building codes and zoning ordinance specifically related to the unsafe dwellings and to multiple families. They currently pay $7,986 per month. It's like there was a ratio that was formulated at one time for every citizen and how many houses. And they have 412 citizens and 160 houses, and this is approximately 35% of their budget. What I did talk to the mayor this week, what she would like to do is under the current agreement, just expand it to enforce these codes. They feel like that it's only 1 or 2 calls potentially a year. They have 1 or 2 homes right now that are multi-family or single-family homes, and they've got multiple families living in them, some things of that nature. So this has been brought to you. I did investigate that and ask those questions. So I don't know if there's something we obviously will need to discuss it. So one of us, me or the city attorney, I would imagine would give them the answer.
Under the present financial arrangement they want?
Under the current arrangement is what she, yes, sir, that's what her request was.
I think you see that.
And I think that was.
Right, it's been 4 or 5 years since we since we essentially corrected the amount that we were charging them. For years and years, we've been charging them a very, very low rate to provide fire and police service. And so I think, if we're going to provide additional services, we probably need to update again what it is we're charging.
And that thing, I like the mayor and attorney to go back, and the city manager, to go back to, before we asked them about, going in with these streets. And y'all would be able to go back and have a talk there with the charter, see if they want to going up to be part of these streets. And if they don't, then they need to pay more regardless of the way. Before they said they didn't want to be a part of these streets. They didn't want to be a part of the county, they didn't want to be part of the city, they didn't want to do their own little thing. And I know when we went over that, we went up back to that road, when we go over, they tell us we couldn't cut no sirens on, no lights on, nothing, because they didn't want other people woke up. And,
I'm not the city attorney, but Mike Carter carried some legislation over in Nashville this week having to deal with that issue. I'm not sure that legally that we could do that right now. With going from taking in another city that does not border our city.
It's an island.
It's not continuous.
It's got to be continuous.
Yeah, I don't believe that we can do that.
that's on top, they.
Yeah, you're right.
I think we had calculated it before based on essentially a per citizen rate. What does it cost a citizen of East Ridge for the fire and police service? And then we arrived at that rate and charged Ridgeside based on what their population is.
Are there any commercial properties, buildings over there?
No, it's all residential.
It's all residential.
Just a couple of streets. 4 streets. That graveyard area, got swimming pool. I think they close swimming pool. I'll speak on the codes back then.
Certainly.
If we decide to do the codes thing for them, our code officer goes over there, writes a ticket, sticks it on their door. We cite them to court. Do they come to our court or do they go to their court?
They don't have court, so they'd be going.
I thought they had an elected judge.
They do.
Ridgeside?
I thought they had an elected judge.
They got their own lawyer too. I know when we started out, I don't know what you got now, but when we started out, the mayor remembers when we started out, there was an own lawyer and an own judge.
I don't know about a judge, I'm sure they
Chrissy
have.
Sale's husband, isn't she, she's on their council? Or
He's
The
on
county, okay. They use the county courts. Okay.
Well, they wanted to use ours.
Yeah, they want you guys.
I got a call from Mike Brad, who used to be the Chattanooga city attorney, who's now retired, de facto Ridgeside attorney. So
asking us to do.
And I definitely think that's a question that would be aimed at our chiefs.
When the city of East Ridge, the city of East Ridge enforces laws over there now. We have police department patrols, make arrests over there. So I don't see that would be an issue. The only.
Where do they go to court? County or
Here, they bring them here. And that's part of the contract we have between the fire and the police, EMS, hazardous materials, any other emergency response that requires the city of Ridgeside. The only stipulation that I would think, and it would be something that Mr. North would have to address, if we did adopt it, anything that's pre-existing. If they do have people that are living like that, it's pre-existing, before we do a contract with them, I don't know how that would pertain to that, being a code violation.
You would be grandfathered? I'm not familiar with, do they have an existing zoning? Because I thought that was part of the problem, they wanted to adopt ours and wanted to do something.
I'm not real sure on their existing, I believe they had fallen under the county, laws and regulations of code enforcement
The
before.
county refused.
From what I understand right now, the biggest problem they have is there's two homes over there. One house is in real bad shape and needs to be condemned. The other house is a multi-family dwelling that is originally a single-family dwelling. The occupant or homeowner turned it into an apartment basically and subleases out. I think that's one of the concerns that the city of Ridgeside and the mayor has.
Well, again, we have to confer and see whether they had any, whether they're operating under an existing zoning regulation for Ridgeside, whether it was the county or whether they wanted to adopt ours or what. So it's hard for me to opine about what would happen in their situation. But my personal feeling is we got enough to control over here without expanding, without a significant contribution by Ridgeside. But again, that's a political decision, that's not a legal decision.
I think they should at least make for another employee to handle that.
Now,
Really address salary plus benefits. At least that. Everyone else is pretty stretched there.
You really need to, another paper too, because it's that one, fire department and police department. Paper two.
when does that agreement run out?
I think it's definitely something to discuss further.
See, the same thing would go back to, are they gonna come over and get permits, electrical permits?
I imagine so, if they adopt our codes. All right. Before we dive into items of business, I do want to remind everyone, we moved one item. I know we've tried to break that habit of moving things from the agenda session. For time sensitivity reasons, item D under new business will be resolution 2474, which is simply authorizing the city manager to get bids for subcontracting the mowing services at Exit 1. So it's not committing us to anything at all. It's simply seeing what kind of price we could get for someone else to come in and do the mowing there at Exit 1. And with that, we'll move into old business. Item A, ordinance number 986, here for second and final reading.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, to amend the zoning regulations and the zoning map of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, rezone the property located at 503 Frawley Road from R1 Residential District and A1 Agricultural District to RZ10 Lot Line Residential District, here on second and final reading.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Griffin.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Manning.
Yes.
Councilmember Sewell.
Yes.
Mayor Lambert.
Yes. Ordinance 986 is approved. Item B, ordinance 987.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, to amend ordinance number 971 entitled, an ordinance to provide revenue for the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, for the July 1st, 2014 to June 30, 2015, appropriating the same to the payment of expenses of the municipal government by changing revenues of the grant fund and capital improvement fund and designating a portion of the fund balance in the general fund and State Street Aid Fund and changing the expenditures for the general fund, State Street Aid Fund, grant fund, and capital improvement fund. Here on second final.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council. Ordinance 987 has not been amended or changed by the staff since the first reading. Brief, the biggest item moves funds from the general fund, from the sale fund, the capital improvement fund, keeping just over $500,000, but keeping $48,000 for the first year for the retail strategies contract in the general fund for payment of that contract. It also provides for expenditures in general government, which is we've discussed throughout the year. That's for health insurance, the like $20,000 in the Parks Department, and $48,000 I just mentioned in economic development for the purpose of the contract. It also provides for a capital outlay for the State Street Aid purchase of a mini excavator that the council approved at a recent meeting. In the grant fund, the budget was amended in accordance with approval of the City Council approving funds for a traffic project grant. It's 100% grant, so it requires no city funds. So we added revenues and expenditures in the amount of $15,000. And then again, in the capital projects fund, we also adjusted the amount for the fire line item, the capital improvement fund for expenditures, to account for the thermal imaging camera that the chief requested to be used. Any questions? I'd be glad to answer those at this time.
Money for that fire imaging, did that come out of band money?
The money for
The fire imaging?
the fire imaging,
Yes, for the $9,885.
it did not. It came out of the capital improvement fund.
Any other comments? Make a motion for second. We have a motion and a second to approve ordinance 987. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Griffin.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Manning.
Yes.
Councilmember Stoll.
Yes.
Mayor Lambert.
Yes. Ordinance 987 is approved. Move on to new business. Item A, resolution number 2473.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, authorizing the city manager as purchasing agent of the city to purchase items on the attached Exhibit A from the bond anticipation note funds.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. The Exhibit A that's provided right after the resolution that's in your packet, that has been updated, so that I hope everybody has the update. We've inserted that or emailed or provided it to each of the members. We wanted to sufficiently, we discussed it, yes.
I apologize for stopping you, but how do we know which one's the correct? I've only got one in my book, and I just want to be sure it's the right one.
The correct one has two figures at the bottom in blue, 1896 and 1876.
Okay.
Everybody else have it?
Good.
Okay, good. And in the packets that the public have all been updated as well. The city is proposing two proposals here, and the reason that there are two proposals follows from the time-sensitive nature of the transaction if approved, and that is that the band funds need to be spent by the end of the month, as we discussed previously. After investigations, I mentioned at the agenda session earlier, after City Attorney North raised a question at the last meeting, I spoke to bond counsel, and the bond counsel advised us to look at this very narrowly: land purchases, park development, recreation programs, and in streets and roads. And in doing that, we wanted to propose items that follow that narrow reading of the initial and then the bond resolution for the bond anticipation note. Under the first proposal, which is what staff's
first choice or recommendation of the city council. There's $6,500 for the purchase of 2 sand spreaders for the streets department.
Where's that exact?
That's a quote.
Well,
It's a quote. It's actually discounted because it's a demo model. And Melvin would have more information on that if you have questions, sir. Land purchase for the new fire hall property, that's $148,600. Refurbishing and batting cages in Camp Jordan Park at $10,000. A leveling and safe coating of the fields, which this is also discounted, $18,560, which will allow for more playtime in rainy weather.